This slide basically we are going to discuss the agile values, right? So agile is basically backed by these agile values, like how you create that agile mindset by having these core agile values. And what are these values? Let's discuss these one by one. So individuals and interactions. So in 2001, there was a group of 17 software developers, and they all gathered in a place which is known as Uth in a ski resort. And basically, they together they were all frustrated with the old ways of practicing or developing software, and they found so many problems with the existing ways of developing software at that time. Like mainly at that time, the most popular method of developing software products were waterfall. So they found problems with that method, and what they have done is to address those problems. They came up these agile values and principle, and those agile values and principles are discussed here. So if you have worked in waterfall, you would see that these are the things on the right hand side. They are common problems on in the waterfall method, and what they're trying to do is they build them contrary to the things in whatever was happening in waterfall. They have come up with opposite of that and build them as value in agile, so that those waterfall related problems can be solved. So let's go through those things. What are they? So individuals and interaction over processes and tools. So what it means is basically uh, agile values interactions between individuals mean people who are working in agile team, or the stakeholder can be the business people who provide us requirement, or the sponsors who provide us money to build this product. So basically agile prefer interactions, means discussion. It can be face to face, voice call, being in same place. So interactions between various stakeholders and agile team members, rather than following process and tools. So they are not saying there is no value in following process and tools, but they give much more value to interactions and between individuals. Why they are doing this is because in the old regime, which is waterfall regime, what used to happen is basically the people uh, who used to give the requirements, they used to sit in a different office. They will be in a different team, and the people who used to actually develop the software or product, they used to sit in different team. And these people who are developing the softwares and all, they used to follow very heavy processes, heavyweight processes to develop these softwares. And a lot of their time, that software development team time, will go in just following these processes or getting acquainted with tools, and it will make their life difficult. So to solve that problem, they have come up with this solution that they prefer talking they prefer to have more interaction between the business stakeholders and the development team. So that's the idea being conveyed here. The second one is working software over comprehensive documentation. So what is this value, agile value, all about? So if you have worked in waterfall, you will remember that in waterfall we used to write very very detailed requirement documents, and it can take, sometimes it used to take 3 months, 6 months in just document gathering and documenting the requirements. And we'll do very very detailed design documents, like architecture documents, medium level design, low level design. So we'll used to do a lot of design documents. Most of the time of people who are working or developing these software products will go into just writing these documentation, and they will have very little or no time to actually code the system or build the system. And many times what used to happen is most of the program budget, 80-90% of program budget will get burned in just writing the documentation, and only 5-10% money is left for actually building the product. Because by the time you do all the requirements and design, all the program budget has been already burnt. So to solve that, that used to be a common sight in waterfall projects. To address that problem, they have come up with this value where they are saying that they they give more value to working software, which is what actually customer want, right? If it's going back to the same idea which I was conveying, in my this slide, that if you just write documentation and documentation, that is of no value to the customer. Customer is interested in a working software or working product, right? What they will do with the requirement and design document, the end customer doesn't care how good requirement and design document you have written. And that's what it's being conveyed here, that the agile manifesto gives more value to the working software as compared to comprehensive documentation. Let's move on to the next one. Customer collaboration over contract negotiation. So what does this particular value means? So what used to happen in waterfall is basically the business people who will give us the requirement, and the developers, they used to sit in a different building, and they used to be many times they, like the business people are in US and the developers are in India. There is not much collaboration or discussions between them. And the business people will write requirements in the form of document, and they will convey, share those documents with the developers, and the developers will read through these requirement documents and develop software. And what was the problem in that kind of process was that there was a lot of miscommunication. So people will the people who are the business people, let's say, want to develop a chair, but actually the developer end up developing a table because they haven't fully understood what are the requirements, because requirements were conveyed in form of documents, right? And there were not much interaction or collaboration between business people and developer. So to solve that problem, they have come up with this value, customer collaboration. What it means is there is collaboration between uh, the Scrum team, basically the people who are actually going to develop the product, and the business people who are going to give us money, or who are or giving us requirement. So they have to basically work together. They have to collaborate with each other, and rather than spending a lot of time in contract negotiation. So what used to happen in waterfall is there will be a lot of time in writing down the contract between contracts between various parties who are going to develop the product. So for example, you are a big customer, let's say Apple, and you want to build a product, and you want to get it built, let's say through HCL. So what will happen is a lot of contract negotiation will happen, and a lot of time will go wasted in just or wasted in just agreeing the contract rather than actually building the product. So what they are saying is that they in Agile Manifesto they give more value to customer collaboration rather than contract negotiation. That's the idea being conveyed here. Next one is responding to change over following a plan. So what does this mean? So those of you who have worked in waterfall, there used to be a lot of upfront planning in waterfall. Let's say you are trying to build up, you are working on a project, and the project will go for, let's say, 3 years. So what the project manager will do in waterfall is they will build a upfront, very very detailed plan up to the third, fifth level of activity or action items for in advance for the entire 3 years, and everyone has to just follow those that plan like word by word. That's what used to happen in waterfall. Whereas in agile they are suggesting to responding to change. Why they are suggesting to responding to change is because uh, when you have done a lot of upfront planning, let's say you're trying to launch a autonomous car, right? And you have built a plan, very detailed plan for 3 years. What if something change in the regulatory environment? What if the regulators who are who are regulating the autonomous car space, they say that your car can't go beyond, if you are launching autonomous car, it can't go beyond 50 kilometers per hour, right? If they come up with that kind of regulation, how you are going to handle in waterfall? Because you have already built a plan for 3 years, you can't change your plan, right? There is very little scope or very rigid scope to change it. And there can be other things, like your competitor can launch a totally different kind of product which suddenly start getting lot of attention from the marketplace. Look at what have happened with Google, right? When Open AI launched their chatbot, this OpenAI launched their chat GTP. Google lost close to 100 billion US dollar in their market capital. What it meant is they have to suddenly throw all their plans and roadmap in the back burner and come up with totally new roadmap for all their products, right? Because now they have a existential threat in the marketplace, because if they don't change their product roadmap, to align with what the kind of capabilities of chat gtp, they will become insignificant or irrelevant, right? So to address that, what you need is you should follow a framework which allows you to change your roadmap, change your requirements, basically you which allows you to respond to the changing situation in marketplace, changing needs of customer. And that's what they are explaining here, responding to change. Basically, the framework, agile framework you are using, it should allow you to respond to change rather than for following a strict plan. Obviously there is value in following a plan, but this responding to change is more important than more valuable than following a plan. That is what is being discussed in this slide. Any